there just an earthquake or something?
I hope not.
That was weird.
Dude,
What happened? I didn't feel it.
wait. Like I felt something over here. Gotta check it out. Gotta check it
Okay.
out. Gotta check it out. Gotta check it out.
I just want to say I'm excited
I felt the
because
earth move.
there's a
Oh,
really
my
big
goodness.
movie coming out this week. I'm super stoked about.
What movie?
Marvel's Shang-Chi.
Right.
Oh, yes. You know, I've been living underground. Thank you for enlightening me on what's going on in the real world.
And I have a 19-year-old. I just dropped him off to meet up with his bestie.
Oh, nice.
They're going tonight to see.
Oh, to see it?
Oh,
Yeah.
at midnight?
Well, no, I guess there's an 8:15 show.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they have showings around like 7 now, around 6, 7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. And so I took him dropped him off and then skedaddled on back.
Oh yeah.
Well, welcome back. You are always missed. Where you been? What's going on?
So we just we trying to be hot on the mic everywhere that they will let us. I just got back from Tucson, Arizona, so very excited. I had never. First of all, Tucson is the business, people. Just so y'all know, like we need to round it up and go. Like park it in Tucson. Go and do maybe some, Phoenix, and I don't know which way Tempe or Flagstaff. I know Flagstaff's about an hour. But they got a good comedy community in Tucson. The people of Tucson are good. Like we went, like after the show, it was very rainy, which I guess they don't expect rain either. So rain was odd for them, but it was very rainy. But we ended up like just trying to get some Wendy's, and the woman just insisted. Like my good girlfriend that was taking me got some like strawberry lemonade. And I don't know if y'all know, like Wendy's for the past few years has these kind of handcrafted, good lemonades. But girl, this woman was raving about now I say mango. I guess in Spanish, maybe it is mango, but she did not look Mexican or Hispanic to me, but she was like, you have to try the mango lemonade. The went on. I'm going to put you guys some sample cups. When I tell you that mango lemonade is the business, like, please understand the next time I'm at Wendy's. I already know. But, the show was fantastic. We did get rained on. I put on Facebook. We didn't get rained out, but like, the producer who was incredibly kind and does a lot of producing was just like, it's not usually like this. I'm so sorry, but I had a good time. Just had a good time, and felt like I gave it my all. And like, secret, like, when I saw the other dude's flyer, that's when I found out that I was the headliner. I knew, which was fine. Like I knew to prepare 30 minutes. I knew to prepare, the nice, set because I'm up to a decent like 45, whatever. But but I wanted to, and I still actually forgot. There's a couple of bits that I didn't put in that 30 that I was kind of feeling some kind of way. I was like, okay, well that means we got the material. But and I just want to big up Clubhouse because they were basically like 2.5-3 months ago. There was a cat on Clubhouse. His name is Tony Braun. He's out of that area, and we were all in a room one night just talking. And he was like, "Well, reach out to this guy," and I reached out to that guy, and then a show happened based on this. And then so crazy me though, Lord. So this guy comes. I had asked Tony on Instagram, "Well, are you coming to the show?" Da 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 da. And he's like, I'm gonna try to make it, your headliner, so then I won't miss you. Da da da. He gets to the show. They're like, oh, this is Tony, Dana, but it does not occur to me that it's the Tony that I've been. Then and I'm like, so I'm like, hey, how you doing? But I'm all about my business. And then he goes on stage and they're like, Tony Braun. I was like, fuck, that's the dude. Anyway. So right, I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh my god,
this is another guy named Tony.
Right. Give me a
here.
Like, oh my god, I'm sure you think I'm like, why is she so odd? Anyway, but so it was just so this was my like I've traveled a little bit before, grateful for it all, but I feel like this was the first time that I like flew somewhere and had to get a hotel room, which was cool, and and went and did a show and whatever. It was just very exciting. It was a lot of fun. It was good. It was good.
Very nice.
Well, welcome back. We happy to see you. We happy to see your face and your radiance. And we got a couple of discussion topics, and definitely we're gonna all chime in on.
Yes. I'm looking radiant. Everybody in here looking radiant.
Well, we moisturize.
Right.
Dan might. I don't know, Dan. You need a little more, right?
Well, I got sunburned recently. Really
I
bad.
was gonna say I was going to ask you, and first of all, I'm checking out Stephen. Stephen, first of all, is shamelessly posting his Planet Fitness comedy workout like on social media. So we know what Stephen
in the wee hours of the morning.
That's right. I'm trying.
Like we
At 2 a.m.
Like here's the thing, Stephen, you're not single, but you like looking at like y'all see Stephen got the facial hair, got the, you know.
He is happily married to his wife. He's trying to get sexy for his woman because his woman is already sexy.
That's right. I got to get her attention somehow.
Right.
No. You got to stop posting that because when I see it and I'm around my family, it's just the inappropriate time for me to have those feelings.
Oh, damn.
I'm just saying right now. Why? How did it go there?
Because it always does. It always does. Okay. Well, speaking of inappropriate, y'all know who Alan Dershowitz is, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the attorney for Donald Trump. I think he was pretty, respected until he, started supporting and defending Donald Trump. Well, apparently he was in Martha's Vineyard at a grocery store and ran into Larry David. They got into a screaming match instigated, obviously, by Larry David, at which point Alan Dershowitz, in the middle of the Martha's Vineyard grocery store, amongst all of the rich white people, took his shirt off to show he wasn't bad, but luckily he had a shirt under it that his wife made him that said it's the Constitution.
Wait. You said he took his shirt off to show that he wasn't what? That he
wasn't no punk. That he wasn't no punk. Like he was ready to get in and get down with Larry David if that's what he wanted to do in the jelly and peanut butter aisle.
I was about to say, that's crazy. And there are rich black folks in Martha's Vineyard. Like my favorite DJ D Nice was in Martha's Vineyard this summer too. Like all the Obamas had the 60th birthday for President Obama on Martha's Vineyard. Martha's Vineyard be popping, and clearly with Dershowitz, it's really popping at the grocery store.
Yeah.
It's just apparently funny that there's a whole generation of those macho guys going, "Come on here, you want to rumble? You want to rumble? Huh? You want to rumble? I take on your socials. I think your socials on right now. You think you're better than me? You think you're better than me?" Like that's what I feel going on in these guys' head. Because unfortunately, didn't Joe Biden also say, "I take him behind the shed" or something about Trump or something?
Yeah.
Time is like, "I take him behind the shed." God damn it, old man, stop talking that way.
They only giving out knuckle sandwiches. That's like the only self-defense they got. Knuckle sandwiches on deck, peanut butter and jelly appropriate as needed. And y'all know Larry David put a similar situation in his actual show. Oh, that's how passionate he was about that because they used to be friends.
Oh.
And then they had a real girlfriend spat right in and was like, "Put him up." So I really wanted to know were they gonna fight or wrestle? What do y'all think?
Well, I think the reason why you don't see guys that are 70 or older usually boxing or fighting is because the laughter diminishes the sport.
Exactly.
Well, I know that at 70 I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, fuck this." I mean,
or maybe Alan didn't take it off to fight. Maybe he took it off because it was his Superman costume underneath.
I'm just surprised he had anything underneath. The dude seems off.
Well, he said his wife made a shirt and it said it was a customized shirt that had the Constitution on it.
It just says it's the Constitution. Basically, I'm following the law. Don't take it personal that I defended a sociopath and help them destroy this country. Larry David, still be my friend.
That's bananas.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. Tells me? Yes.
He prepared.
Well, you know what that tells me, though, right?
What is that?
That he really has not read the Constitution.
Accurate.
That's what it tells
me. Accurate. All right, what's our next story?
And just one last thing, but when without that fight, we wouldn't know he had the shirt on.
That is so maybe he maybe it seemed like Larry instigated it because he started with "Fuck you, Alan." Fucking,
I would have paid to see that.
But maybe he pulled one of the dance. Maybe he got got a little goose. Maybe Alan gave him a little goose.
Oh, he checked his oil
so he could take his shirt off.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Dana.
Ouch. She's like,
for elaborating. And he did it in front of the bougie black people in Martha's Vineyard.
Like, what? Oh man. And then what
Okay, so we got Daniel Craig, or we got
we got Daniel Craig coming up. Daniel Craig said he doesn't plan on leaving his children an inheritance and called it quite distasteful.
Quite distasteful, yes.
Quite distasteful.
Distasteful to leave your kids an inheritance?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Like, what's
so horrible?
Did he give that some context? I'm curious.
Well, okay, so he's just a he's an asshole. That's what it was. This is a Yahoo article, so there's really not much. Okay, he said, I think American industrialist Andrew Carnegie gave away in what's today money would be about 11 billion, which shows how rich he was, because I bet he kept some of it too. Wait, that's the.
So what he was trying to say is, if you make a lot of money, you need to use it while you're here, spend it or give it to a worthy cause, but leaving a big sum of money to your kids is bullshit.
I think it was.
But it says, my philosophy, I think inheritance is quite tasteful. My philosophy is get rid of it or give it away before you go. You moron.
Yeah, that's how he feels. I mean,
that's just pre-mortem inheritance.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, like, it's the sure way to make sure your kids aren't sad when you die.
I believe D.L. Hughley is doing the same thing. He doesn't want to give his kids his money. There's somebody else that's doing that too.
But
I think it depends on what type of children you have. Obviously, I feel like when it comes to making hundreds of millions of dollars, most people don't need that in a lifetime to live a good life.
Not even.
So maybe he's going to give his kids like a little bit and give them opportunities and set them up with connections. And if they can't figure that shit out, then they're going to be eating cat food when they're 70, and that's on them.
No, yeah, I don't think he should give all of it to them. I mean, if you want to like hook them up with a house, give them a college fund, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe like a small retirement little thingy, whatever, but don't give them all of it.
It's the absolutism of this statement. You know what's going to happen in the future. You have any idea what's going to happen in 5 to 10 years to your children's ability to buy shit? Oh, I'm sorry. You were born in the wrong generation, and now you don't have a Velociraptor hut. You'll bleed in the streets.
If you're a 100 millionaire, Dana, how are you distributing post-mortem your death? Who are you giving your money to? You over rich.
Well, I only have the one son, but I would make sure that my son, had something. I would probably make sure that my nephew had something for me, because if I'm Oprah rich. But I would also honestly, I have my cousins who, how do I say, are not necessarily my first cousins, but like, how do you say, our parents are first cousins, so they kind of feel. But anyway, that generation, some of those folks like that, I held them when they were babies. They now have children because they're in their 30s and their 40s or whatever. I mean, when I held them when I was 11, 12, 13, 14, whatever it was. But I, in my mind, see myself possibly leaving something to their children. Do you know what I'm saying? Just to, because I just feel like, and I think it's just the difference culturally, not to turn it into too much of a serious topic. I just disagree with him. I think that generational wealth is important. I think that, other than say like Jeff Bezos, that are just self-made, like he made, I haven't done all of the research, but as far as I know, he made his million on his own. You know what I'm saying? I respect that we live in a capitalist democratic nation that gives space for people, and capitalism reigns supreme. But that said, if I can make Oprah money in this lifetime, I'm going to make sure that my children have the head start that generations before them of all cultures have made sure that they had a good start. You know, like, and also a good finish, because here's the thing: if you, because the other side of that is, if I leave you something and you squat that away and you're eating cat food at 70, that is on you. But but you know, to my dying breath, whatever I can do to make sure you are not eating cat food at 70 to prepare yourself, then I'm gonna do that, because the only thing I do agree with, you can't take it with you. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I think, you know, it's because we're Black. No, everything ties back to some of the disparities that obviously as a culture in this country we grew up with. I want to continue to help close those gaps. And I don't mind. I'm certainly not Republican, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. But if I make some money, my kids are going to get that. You know, and I honor that my grandkids prayerfully won't have to see a world that looks anything like the one I grew up in. But I want to make sure that if I help my son have a start, if he has children, they will have a chance. You know what I'm saying? They will have a chance. In the same way people talk about, my great grandfather had a farm, and because of that farm, we da. Same thing. I want them to say, my great grandmother, Dana Keel, was the comedian, the stand up. She da, and she left us this thing. You know what I'm saying? That's me.
Maybe he's just bitter because maybe he grew up as a poor kid. And he grew up around trust fund kids. And so out of that resentment, he's like, I'm not going to have, because of the volume of money I have, my kids are going to know what it looks like to earn. They're not going to be these I would honestly, if I had a lot of money, I don't want kids. So I'm giving it all to my dog. And I'm hoeing it out like all the sexy men. I got hundreds, 20s. Get up on this.
Make it rain.
But if I had children, because I was foolish, I would go ahead and I would make sure that, even if my kids are idiots, they're going to get it. They're going to get that legacy.
No, you got to take care of your family, man.
However, wouldn't it be really like funny, ironic if we find out in 20 years that cat food is the best thing you could eat?
That would be so funny, ironic. That would be like,
buy the cat food. Then, like,
all right.
Whether you want cat food or caviar, whether you want cat food or caviar, I will have made sure that I left you money to take care of it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just boil an egg and chop up some celery and onion. You good?
It's pretty much tuna salad. Anyway.
Egg salad.
We also just quickly have to talk about this. Just to let people know. All-inclusive magic mushroom retreats, all the new luxury trips.
Would you do it? Would you do it?
Yes. Play so you don't get fingered by a hippie.
So you get to go to a resort. You can do mushrooms. Depending on where you go, you can do ayahuasca. And it's like one of the resorts, they take corporate CEOs and they give them psychedelics to help them have a higher perspective. That's not working, but that's what they're doing.
That's not working.
So, they do it like 4 weekends in a row.
Huh? I'm interested in ayahuasca, so I would.
Oh, no, same.
You would do it? I've wanted to do ayahuasca for a while, but then I found out they're doing mushrooms in Jamaica. And if it's Black, like shamans doing mushrooms in Jamaica, I might go on down now.
Wait,
you know what I'm saying? I might go on down there.
I just learned about ayahuasca. I just learned about ayahuasca on a mic last week, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm trying to do that. Like,
Joe Rogan has a deprivation chamber for that. He does the eye drops.
Dana, remember, Joe Rogan does ayahuasca, so take that into also consideration.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, you got to take that into consideration, especially recently. But isn't this the stuff that if anyone remembers that traveling show on Comedy Central, the guy had to like wear a diaper and be in a hut with a couple guys that watched him that night or something?
Yeah,
it's like the most intense hallucination. I don't know if I do the most intense because I've seen intense enough. Like,
I wouldn't mind.
I play death metal, so I've seen intense enough. Like,
the impression I got from this mic, from the woman on the mic who mentioned it, she just talked about how it like kind of clears you and heals you of like all your childhood trauma. Yep. And all I'm saying is, I didn't get the impression that you had to like say meth or crack, keep doing it. No. I thought that you do it. No. You do it the one time, you clear, and then you're good. So that's, and then so if that means a night of like, diarrhea or shit, like I'm like Because if we're just talking, if you're saying to me that I would be addicted and I'd be worried about having to wear poise panties every day, that's a problem. But
it's not a prolapse event or anything like that.
I would definitely do it. I like Joe. Yeah. I definitely like. I'm serious about it. Like I'm interested. I'm interested. I feel like I'd heard about it, but I wouldn't know what it did. Like it was just one of those things I heard in passing, and I just everything is white people do that, black people don't do that. Like that's kind of how I divide the world anyway. But I'm interested.
They have deprivation chambers you can go into that lets you feel the weightlessness, and I forget what Joe Rogan was talking about it with one of his bits, but it was more. It didn't sound really like a bit. But you put the eye drops in, and I think he said it lasts the full ayahuasca lasts a long time. Yeah. But the eye drops, I think he said it's like 12 to 15 minutes. They put you in a weightless deprivation chamber. And then he was describing it as floating in the universe or something. I was like, wow.
But it seems like he's addicted to it if he's going into a chamber. Like I had a friend that did it, and he was like, he definitely felt like connected to all the earth. But he was like, I'm not going to do it again. And I would recommend only if you're spiritually ready, because you really feel like you could just let go and just be in the ether.
You have to chain me to a bed, because I saw videos of people roaming the Brazilian rainforest. I was like, no. You're going to have to tie me to the bed. I'm not going to get eaten by a panther in the fucking forest. You know what I'm saying? I can't
still charge your whole stay.
I know we got Joe coming, but I need to understand the deprivation chamber bit. So is this to keep you from roaming the streets? Like
it's to give you the feeling of being embraced by the universe. That's the way everybody that I've listened to describes it. When you're in there, it feels like you're floating, and it feels like the universe is hugging you.
But people masturbate in there. They masturbate. They just don't tell you. Like they go in there to jerk it.
How do you stay calm and not like start to drown? Because you got to be fully relaxed to float. How do you ejaculate to keep your body calm?
Is there water in there? What are we talking
about? No, there's water. There's water. But
you're floating in the water. So how are you gonna?
It's not enough to. You'd have to literally like throw your face in the water to drown. It's not like over your head deep or anything. Yeah. It's kind of like it's enough for you to float. Okay. I'm trying to like think about like the amount of water. I don't know how I would.
And then you'll come back up.
Yeah, it's just enough for you to float. And then the way they design the inside, it's about as dark as like driving without headlights to New Mexico. That's the best I can describe, because that's the darkest I've ever seen it when we turned off the headlights. Don't do that though. Bad idea. It was so pitch black.
Okay, now that part sounds scary. I can't front. Like,
no, go with the shaman, Dana, where they can make sure it's pure, positive, unconditional love energy.
Oh no, that's where I would do it first.
If they have a professional getaway, that's
wait.
There's a license. So
they don't. All right. So I'm looking at the deprivation chambers. Y'all know I had to look. Do they close you in here?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's a no. That's a no.
You got to play vampire. And with that, we will ask our next guest.
Here's the thing. You could close me, but I need a window. Like y'all can't.
You're gonna be sitting in your chamber with your hand on the door like this. That's how it works. I just want to make sure I can open it when I need to.
No, yeah. They don't lock you in. It's lightly closed, and then you just push it open. That's it.
Well, let's bring Joe. Let's bring Joe into the conversation, because I'm curious.
Okay,
so what he does. Is he down for the ayahuasca?
So with us, we have winner of the 2017 Clean Comedy Challenge and semifinalist of the 2020 Boston Comedy Festival, host, author, comedy writer, MC, and my good friend, Joe Dungan.
Yay!
How you doing, Joe?
Oh, we got him on mute somehow.
Oh, sorry. There we go. How you doing, Joe?
We got him on mute somehow. Right.
That never gets old. I haven't done a Zoom show in months.
Oh boy.
What? You all have a heavy conversation. Now you're like, let's bring Joe on.
No, because we want to know about you. How do you feel? Like, there's these resorts. Let's say you got free all expense paid trip to a magic mushroom or ayahuasca resort of your choice, but you had to actually do the ritual as part of your stay, are you going to experience it?
I'd need more circumstances. I would only do it. I have a friend who is studying at the graduate level. She has a degree in psychology, and she's going to grad school right now. It's a very specialized field of grad school where they use hallucinogenics to help people with PTSD and other things. Mm-hmm. And she's actually chaperoned people on mushrooms, like as a gig, like to help you. Not like some, stoners like, hey, bro, look what I got. It's like, let's hang out, with her, and we won't have a bad trip. I mean, people who are going through something psychologically. Wow. He will sit there and chaperone them and hold their hand and talk them through and make sure they don't spin off into some bad place, and then say, okay, Fred, we're going to come back now. And like things like that, just kind of gently coach them. I would only do it under those circumstances. I have never done anything stronger than tequila.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm totally down with that. I used to just be just like you until my friend did it. And since then, I've been curious, but too scared.
Yep.
If I got, all right.
Oh, yeah. If you're not
we're here, and Dana's too scared to be locked in a pod. Me too, Dana.
I didn't know that was, when y'all said deprivation, I was like, why is it called, what happened? Tequila's a hell of a drug. That's all I wanted to say.
I would do the sensory deprivation, though. That doesn't frighten me.
No,
just no LSD in the eyelids.
No, there's no drugs, and I meditate an hour a day as it is, so I don't have problems just sitting still for an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think sitting still. I think quiet will drive people crazy if they're not used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Since the pandemic and how everybody lost their damn mind and was putting up Christmas decorations in October.
Yeah.
Well, that's also what's said about the anechoic chamber. If you go in there for several minutes, you start to feel incredibly uncomfortable because you're not used to hearing no reflection of sound whatsoever. And people will go in there for like 5 minutes and walk the hell out. Like, I'm done. Just long enough to put an amp in the mic and get the hell out. Like, no, this sounds weird. Imagine.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to whoever imitated Alan Dershowitz's Frodo earlier. Who was that?
Oh, that'd be Dan, I'm sure.
Dan is the voice.
Frodo, or was it Schmeagol? Who was it?
Oh, I don't remember now, but I could do him as anything. I don't really know how he sounds, so I could turn him into like.
You made him sound like Gollum. Yeah. Precious, the Constitution.
Look at this shit.
I don't know. I don't think we're not telling tales out of school here anymore, but Alan Dershowitz is clearly insane.
Oh yeah.
There's definitely something wrong with him.
Oh yeah. When they asked him about being caught in his underwear, hanging out with the gentleman who supposedly killed himself.
Right.
He's like, you have what? They're like, we have photos, and they showed him legit photos of him, in his underwear at a party, and he's like, I don't know how you got those. That's not me.
Like, obviously,
it wasn't
case closed.
He's like, where'd you get that?
Yeah, he straight up did the "it wasn't me."
I think when you're as guilty as this guy, because didn't he go to Pedophile Island with Jeffrey Epstein and all those guys?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, as guilty as that guy, you will say anything. I mean, your career is going to go spiraling off into a ninth circle of hell at this point. So you'll make up any bullshit you can think of. That guy's clearly goodbye.
Yeah. You think he's the type of guy that buys those shirts on Facebook with way too many fonts and way too many words?
That's totally him.
Because I think he is.
That's totally him. Well, Joe, I want to pick your brain because I've read a lot about you. I've seen your work. You're a very tight writer, very clever, but not too, you know how they get a little bit too pretentious and nobody gets it. Like, you're right in that nice line there. And I know you do stand up at the comedy clubs. You do clean comedy. You do corporate comedy. And did I read right that you write other people's speeches and presentations to like help them incorporate the comedy and the timing and stuff in it too? Like, which area do you really find that you enjoy the most, and which one is the most financially lucrative? Like, I'm curious.
Okay, last question first. None of them. I know you're big on giving new comedians advice. My advice to new comedians is transition to the next thing as quickly as possible, because unless you're how many pure comedians are there who are making money at it? Not a whole lot. They all get into TV or something else. I have written for a few speech makers and people who do PowerPoint presentations and that sort of thing. Finding those clients is the hard part because they all think, oh, I don't need jokes, and they don't want to pay for that. A few are like, yeah, I'll take all the help I can get. So that's rewarding. I think what I find most rewarding, what I find myself liking the most, is hosting a talk show.
Really?
I love sitting down with somebody for 45 minutes and going, how did you end up like this? How did you make these choices without losing your damn mind? How many doubts did you have? Because my whole life is, not getting out of first gear. I'm going, well, I want to do that, but that's scary. I'll do a little of that. But as a hedge, I'll do a little of that. And in case that doesn't work out, I'm going to do some of that and a little of that. I'll do that on weekends. I'll do that at night. I'll do that once a month. And of course, I'm not like a master at anything. So that's because I'm constantly trying different things. So anybody who's going, oh yeah, I've been doing this 30 years. How? That amazes me. And how you get past the doubts and achieve those things, and just trying to let the universe get your back, which, I've had glimpses of here and there. But I think hosting the talk show is my favorite. My favorite thing, I mean, you're all comedians, right? Have you ever walked on stage? I mean, like literally 3 seconds before you grab the microphone and you don't know what you're going to say? I don't mean you forgot. I mean you don't care.
Not yet. I would say that I did it's interesting because about a month ago I was like, I really want to work on my type 5. I want my type 5 to be tighter, because like now I feel like I've lost, like if somebody said we're going to put you on Kimmel or whatever, make sure it's a type 5. I don't know what that is anymore. So I started kind of reassembling, but it was like the more that I put it in my head that I wanted to refine my type 5, I would go to mics and then just want to talk. And then the type 5 would still get ripped up because there's all this other stuff that wants to be heard. And then I finally did, for the first time, I say like a 15-minute open mic, but that still means I'm going to come with some prepared stuff. But I would say I've never yet gone and not known what I had wanted to say. But I'm a fan of callbacks. I'm not a fan of like fucking up your own time with callbacks, but I'm a fan of callbacks. And but when you get a 15-minute set, you can fuck with callbacks in this very real way. And I would say, I don't know, I look forward to that day just to see what it feels like. But I still kind of feel like, even if I'm not sure how I'm going to start, that's the closest I've been. Like, I don't know what I want to open with. There's usually a good callback. And then I start there.
You can always find a callback. I guarantee you, all of you, any comedian listening, if you've got 5 minutes, I guarantee you can find a callback or several.
Right.
Yeah. Just keep writing. And I feel you also, because I know what it's like to just write jokes for the sake of writing jokes. And after years of telling them, you're like, wait, this isn't me. I don't want to do that anymore. I used to be very much about staying on script, getting as many laughs per minute as possible. Yeah. And then over the past 2-3 years, I've slowly said, I know clean comedy winner aside, fuck it. I don't want to do that. I just go on stage and I'll start by just talking what I want to talk about. I'll find my way through it. I've got some set things, but it's like, because you're talking about approaching comedy from 2 different directions, writing the jokes, but they may not have a lot of resonance or meaning. And then talking about the stuff you want to, Bill Burring your way through a set.
Right.
And then you want to marry the two. And that's the artistry. And that's what no one teaches you. That's the hard part.
Well, not yet. Sir, it seems like you taught it quite well just now. So
just now,
no one teaching it yet.
Thank you. You mentioned it. I think it's the kind of thing that you kind of have to discover on your own. It seems like every comedian who does that has their own version of a meltdown 5, 10, 15 years in. They all have stories like that. Carlin melted down on stage in Las Vegas before he became the Carlin. You guys want to have a trip. Watch George Carlin in the 1960s on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yeah.
He is different.
Hippy dippy weatherman time?
The hippy dippy weatherman stuff and the radio DJ guy. Very different from the Carlin that we knew from the 80s and 90s. Very different.
Yeah, he lost over 90% of his income by becoming the Man in Black for a while.
Yeah, no, I think he had some tax issues chasing him his whole life too. So, but honestly, as I like to say to people, be glad you're not famous, because you can screw up all of this and no one's going to. What are they going to do? Lose followers? They're going to take you off the radio? I mean, what are they going to do?
Yeah, it's right. So you're famous. It's a lot to keep up.
So you're passionate about doing the interviews and hosting, and I get it, because like I can see how you love to compile information, even just talking about the ayahuasca, and like, you know, I know the research and it's really cool. But you also mentioned your spirituality, your meditation, let's see what the universe, where did that come in the picture? And did that play a role in you shifting your style of comedy?
Totally. And it came into play because I was just trying to, you know, here I am living my life and just going to my day job that I don't really care for, then having a couple of beers after work. And one day I'm saying, well, maybe this isn't the healthiest way to live. Maybe I'll start doing yoga. I heard you can meet chicks at yoga studios. You know, never underestimate that motivator. Started doing that, and that led to people, well, try meditation. And I would try it for 5 minutes and I'm going, I don't get it, you know, but I kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. And I found the more I did it, the more I would calm down. It did have an effect on my anxiety. It did bring me down. Now, about a year ago, anxiety ratcheted back up again. And I said, okay, this is horrifying. I can't, we're in the middle of a pandemic. The entire West Coast is on fire. There's a lunatic as president who might get reelected because the country is insane. So yeah, I'm a little freaked out right now. Forgive me. And then my brain just kind of seized up and I started having panic attacks, and it was pretty horrible. I had a panic attack while I was teaching once. Stephen, were you there for that?
I don't know if that was that during the class I was in?
That was during class one day. I had a panic attack. I had to like get up and.
Oh, maybe.
September or October of last year. You might have.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe you said you had to go do something really quick or something.
It was for 20 seconds. Somebody give a note. I'm just like walking away, going, "Make it stop! 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi." Wow, it was pretty awful. But
did anyone like take notes, going, "Okay, so this is something new"?
It's improv.
Like, what is he teaching us right now?
Ad-libbing notes.
No, I mean, sometimes you got to walk away, you know, or you got to give a breather. I know when I had my baby, that was my sister's best advice. She's like, you're going to get frustrated. You're not going to have a lot of sleep. Just if she's got to cry, just let her cry. Walk out of the room. You know she's okay. Go take a 5 minute. You know what I mean? She's like, because otherwise bad things happen.
Yeah. So but what I found is that as I meditate more, I calm down over this is recent months. I'm angry less. Perfect example of this. This happened 3 weeks ago. I was at a mic. I was at the Nightcap, Aaron Maliner's place in Bourbon. I dropped in and he said, yeah, come on by. I'll give you 5 minutes. So I go on stage and it's 3 lights. He's doing it outside right now because of Delta variant. He moved it outside. And it's literally, you get on stage, 3 lights and a black hole. Normally you can see a cocktail tables or whatever, the front row. You can't see fuck all. It is just that. So I start doing my jokes and I launch into this one bit and a guy in back screams at me. I was doing a bit it's a new bit I'm doing about Republican yoga instructors. And he screams at me, furious. And Aaron recorded it. He might have it on video. So shut up! Shut the fuck up with that shit. I see that shit all the time. And at first I'm thinking, this is my second time doing the bit. How on earth could you see this all the time? I didn't know what to say to this guy. But I talked him down because, yeah, there's a side of me that's like, you're being a dick right now. But there's also a side of me going, there's a reason for this. And I don't know if he's drunk or off his meds or what. But yelling back is just going to escalate. I see how this goes. And I'm not one of those guys. I'm not one of those alpha comedians. So I'm not going to fight. Plus, I'm looking at a pitch black. This guy might be 6'8" with a machete. I don't know.
Right.
So I'm talking him down. And then moments later, he calms down. I think other people were shushing him. And he said, sorry. And I'm going, it's okay, brother. It's all right, man. Because now I've got the upper hand. I mean, escalating is a mixed bag. You can take the high road. I mean, the audience is on your side already.
Right.
So then I kept going with my bits, and I recovered, and I did fine. And then I get off stage, and the other comedians gather around me like I just saw Paul McCartney or something. Like, what happened? I was like, some dude went apeshit on me. I don't know. But afterwards, I bring this up because afterwards, I'm standing in the alley watching the rest of the show, and people get up and leave, and he and his wife get on bicycles to go away. And then they stop, and he walks back to me, and I can tell he's not going to hurt me. I can just tell by the body language. And he sticks his hand out and he says, hey, man, I'm sorry I lost my shit on you there. And I said, it's okay. You know, again, how many shows do you do that are really important? Like almost none of them. So I don't really have a reason to get mad. Whatever. This was gravy. I wasn't on the lineup anyway. Aaron just threw me in there. And I said, what's the matter? What's wrong? What set you off? And he said, I'm tired of people equating Republicans as people who hate poor people. I'm around poor people all day. Because I did a bit where the Republican yoga teacher shits on poor people. He says, I'm around poor people all day, and all the volunteers I see are Republicans. And I said, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing that with me. And I've since corroborated with people who say, yeah, I work at shelters and churches and things, and they're mostly Republican who help out. And this is a point of view I never considered, because a lot of things with jokes is it's a shared frame of reference. My frame of reference is Congress doesn't give a shit about any of us, especially the Republicans. Democrats, as David Mamet says, Republicans don't bother to put the trash in the trash can at all. Well, Democrats will at least throw the trash in the direction of the trash can. But either way, the problem doesn't get solved. At least Democrats pretend to give a shit. Republicans don't. That's the trope that I'm hanging on when I tell these jokes. But what I'm realizing more and more is that there are gray areas. There are some people out there who be like, that's not true. But, it's on a case-by-case basis. I think by and large, people are on board with me on that. This guy just happened to have a bad day. And Aaron was furious. Aaron almost threw the guy out. A friend of Aaron's was there. He was like a Taekwondo master and was screaming at the guy to shut up. And I'm going, did I do that? I'm sorry. I don't want to get a guy beaten up. But Aaron passed a rule after that because of me. No heckling.
Wow.
Which that's that. But yeah, it's a long-winded way of answering your question. Yeah, it's informed the way I react on stage.
I love that that's what stops their rage at something so offensive. Oh, there's a sign that says no heckling. Fuck.
Whatever works. I love that y'all had the conversation, because it is true. Everybody has a perspective, but the solution comes when all perspectives are understood. There's no one way to solve a problem. Yeah. So that's amazing.
And not only that, but it makes your stand-up more airtight.
Yeah.
You don't want half the audience walking away going, that's not true. What's he talking about? If you can come up with a premise that is unassailable, then you got a pretty solid base for a bit there. So that's kind of what I aspire to. So if there's guys out there going, what's this problem with Republicans and poor people? Well, if I get that enough, I'll scrap the bit. I'll scrap that joke.
That's exactly the things about all my disaster material.
That's interesting. Thank you. That's just an incredible thing. I mean, I go to a lot of mics, and I find myself they're not feedback mics, but I have found myself trying to. There's a particular mic I go to. We don't heckle each other, but it's this kind of, there's a space for people to have a little bit of talk back. And every now and then, if I hear something, I'm just like, hey, this thing, I did a bit, a couple of things happened. This guy was trying to do a BLM bit. I tried to give him some perspective on what he was saying, but he literally is like, well, I still think such and such is silly. It's too long of a trope to go into, but it did teach me a lesson. I certainly do not think that all white men are evil, but at that moment I was like, I do see, I'm a woman of a certain age, and I'm like, oh, I really see the problem. I thought I knew the problem, but I really see the problem with this too. But nonetheless, during the mic, I have a joke that I've been working on about George Washington Carver. Everybody knows that he developed the peanut butter and things from sweet potatoes. We know when I was a Black History kid. So a guy gets up after me and decides that he wants to kind of have this callback trope moment on George Washington Carver and nuts, and the connection between George Washington Carver's nuts, and so I'm sitting there, and it's a mic, so it's a little different. I just say George Washington Carver was castrated, because I'm just like, in that moment, I'm like, I know he doesn't know this, and I'm not saying that, and it's a callback, so I don't think he's necessarily developing a bit. But I also think that I would be an irresponsible descendant of enslaved peoples if I didn't tell this man who's trying to make a joke about a man's nuts who was castrated while this man was a slave before he became famous. So it was just an interesting moment. And it really, really changed the tone of the rest of the mic.
Well, yeah.
but I was, grateful for the opportunity to ultimately, and not in the great way you did, but to break bread a little bit. Because what I felt like in the end is we're all here trying to tell these jokes, but you guys are just a little bit wiser from this moment on. What you choose to do with the information is on you, but you can't say that someone didn't tell you that this is the deal with that.
Did he talk to you afterwards or no?
He actually did not.
He was scared.
Huh?
You know he was scared of you, Dana, after that.
I think they all were, but that's not.
No.
But he didn't.
Yeah, he might have just been embarrassed.
Mm-hmm. Because the other guy who I said something to, he was trying to. This other guy was like, I marched with BLM, but I don't understand when I see the signs on social media, beautiful Brianna, like because I guess in his limited thinking, he assumes that there's somewhere someone's placing a higher value on her outer beauty over this justice. And when he got off stage, I just say to him, I said, hey, just so you know, it's about an issue of humanity. Like the larger problem here, everybody's looking at it as these basic police injustices, but this is an issue of humanity. This is an issue of how a group of people that's how people see us, as less than human. So this idea of beautiful Brianna is not about valuing some type of outer beauty issue over the justice that we're seeking. It's about the larger issue here is she was a human being. She was a beautiful person. She was all the things that are revered in other people, the same. But literally, when I tried to kind of I actually went to him after because I wanted to be able, and he literally said to me, well, I still think it's silly. Oh, and I said, oh, you are hopeless. Got it. I'm gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least he was honest with you. And I appreciate his honesty. Mm-hmm. Because it lets you know, like a capacity for empathy, and it's okay.
Yeah, I don't, because I just
mean he's a bad person.
Well, it means what? Tell me.
It just means that in this situation, number one, he's probably feeling a little emasculated because you know more than him, and so he's defensive.
Okay,
and you planted a seed. And number two, people are sensitive about their comedy and they don't want to get rid of their jokes. And number three, he probably has some negative experiences with people of color that he hasn't made peace with, that makes him have less empathy for us.
But his premise was, I marched with BLM. That was the premise.
Well, that's what everythody says, though.
Like,
we know what that means.
So far 70 million people with it.
Right. Like my naive.
You know what that means. Like he went for the snacks. I mean, men that are not down with Me Too slept with a woman yesterday. What does that mean?
I don't know. I wasn't trying. I feel like I love what happened with you, Joe. Like, I love this idea that you were able to not only de-escalate, tell your jokes, but then there was this other thing that you got out of it. And I and in this particular mic, I feel like there's a space for that. But the couple of incidents, like, and here's the thing, I feel like you can come talk to me. Obviously not the other dude, but the first dude. If he had come up to me and said, thank you for the George Washington card, like, I would have been totally open. But you might be right. Like, I underestimate that people could be scared of me. Like, I don't.
You know what it is? Some people are too fragile.
Yeah, it's a humbling thing to walk up and say, I was wrong about that. What gets me is why so many white male comedians want to talk about race. I'm like,
very true.
That is, thank you. You know what that is?
And they ain't being funny. If you're gonna do it, that thing better be fucking hilarious. Don't be giving me I'm already pissed off because the comedy is mediocre, and then you're gonna talk about race. Look, little boy, I'm gonna stand in here and stare at you.
It was interesting because when he set the premise up, he was just like, I could tell he was a little bit uncomfortable, but it was what you just said. People don't want to let go of their jokes. And in these situations, Joe, at this particular mic, I'm not always the only Black person there, but I am a lot of times the only. So they're looking at me and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're looking at me for. Like, because there's nothing here for you.
They're trying to get permission. Probably.
I'm like,
yeah, that is what it is.
And that is, and to me, that would be white privilege at its very worst. That you are going to look at me in a mic.
Be like, is this okay?
Did someone turn around and stare right at your face 3 inches away?
That's hilarious. I'm gonna keep testing the water. I'm gonna keep just seeing what happens because I go back to the mic on Saturday, so we'll see. We'll see what's happening.
Well, we have a game that we're going to play with Joe here.
Yes.
And what has happened here is Joe is going to run a game show of the choosing of. He gets to choose the name. He gets to choose his personality. But we didn't get to choose our personalities. Ours were spun from a Google spinner. And Joe, you can see these in the private chat as you introduce us for this game show. Anyway, so do you need some game show music, Joe, for this?
Sure, yeah, surprise me.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Needs lyrics,
Oh, shit.
but good otherwise.
I'm surprised.
You can't really dance to it.
It's like I'm gonna put my hat down.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the very first Therapy of the Absurd game show, cleverly titled The Therapy of the Absurd Game Show. I'm your host, Joe Dungan, and we have 4 unbelievable contestants here tonight. First of all, please welcome Victoria, a vegan taxidermist that studies regeneration. Hello, Victoria.
Why, hello, Joe. Thank you for inviting me here. I'm sipping my vegan water. It's very regenerative of my system. I haven't cut my hair in 32 years.
That's fantastic. Also, please welcome 3 babies in a trench coat. Stephen. Hi, 3 babies.
Oh, how are you? We're doing good.
I'm fine, thank you.
Well, that's hard.
And a small town teacher that moonlights as a bat wrestler. That would be Dana.
What's up? The future is female. That's all I got for the bat.
Thank you. And finally, an Amish person that wandered onto the set and doesn't know where they are. Please say hi to Dan.
Hey, where's my cows? Oh.
That's commitment.
Yeah, don't hurt yourself there. Okay, we're just going to go one by one here, and I've got several categories, and I'm going to let each person choose their category, and they can choose an easy question or a hard question. There are no points, and clearly no winners. First up, the categories are chemistry, Academy Awards, baseball, rock and roll, presidential history, and the internet. We're going to start with Victoria. Which of those categories would you like? Chemistry, Academy Awards, baseball, rock and roll, presidential history, or the internet?
Give me, I know you think I want chemistry, darling, but give me rock and roll.
Rock and roll it is. We're going to start with the easy one first. You can have an easy question or a hard question. Your call.
Easy. Give it, I like to start nice and easy.
That's good to know.
And later make it rough.
Victoria, the vegan taxidermist that studies regeneration. Here is your rock and roll question. How many #1 hits did the Grateful Dead have?
I feel like this Amish man over here is going to kill me because I have no earthly idea, darling. Let's say 37.
37. No, I'm afraid that's a little too high. I'm going to throw it open to the rest of the contestants here. Does anyone want to chime in? How many #1 hits did the Grateful Dead have?
17.
The Bible.
Oh, 17.
17. And Dan?
1.
1.
The Bible.
7. Can I have a guess? You babies?
I'm gonna say 5. No, 6. No, 7.
The correct answer is 0. The Grateful Dead had 0 #1 hits. Let's move on to 3 babies in a trench coat. Chemistry, Academy Awards, baseball, rock and roll, presidential history, or the internet?
Academy Awards.
Academy Awards. True or false? 3 babies. Stephen Wright once won an Academy Award. True or false?
What do we think, guys? Yes, what do we think? I will say yes, it's true.
The correct answer is yes, it is true. Stephen Wright won an Academy Award for a short film called The Appointments of Dennis Jennings. Very good. 1 point for Stephen, but do you really want to be a winner?
No.
Let's move on. Next up is Dana, the small-town teacher that moonlights as a bat wrestler. Dana. Chemistry, Academy Awards, baseball, rock and roll, presidential history, or the internet?
Ooh. I'm tossing it up. I'm trying to decide between chemistry and Academy Awards. So since one person answered, that doesn't take the topic off the table?
No, there's an easy question and a hard question in each category.
Got it. All right. I'm gonna go for Academy Awards again.
Academy Awards to the small town teacher that moonlights as a bat wrestler. Who is the only actor in history to win 4 Academy Awards for acting?
Ooh. All right, I'm just gonna take a huge guess. Oh Lord. And I'm going to say, let me see, 4.
I'll give you a hint. They are deceased, if that helps you.
Okay, it actually does, because I was thinking of someone living and thinking of someone dead, and I don't know if my dead person will be correct, but I'm gonna say Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando. Oh, I'm afraid that's incorrect.
Okay.
Does anyone else want to hazard a guess? Who's the only actor to win 4 Academy Awards for acting? I would think the 3 Babies might know something. Yes, 3 Babies.
I'm gonna go with Elizabeth Taylor.
Elizabeth Taylor, that is also incorrect. I'm sorry. Either of the other contestants care to hazard a guess?
Oh, and you know what? You said actor, so I thought only men. I mean, I still think I probably in my head. But I can't right now. As if I think of a woman,
Moses.
I don't. Gosh, Elizabeth Taylor was probably.
That was a pretty good one.
That was.
Good guess.
Because I don't think I think Jessica Tandy has finally died, but I don't think she won 4. Let me see. Yeah, and it's crazy. I just don't. I want to have another one. I really do. I just no, because I know she didn't win 1.
I'm gonna throw it open to Victoria and Dan.
Yes. Sorry,
Victoria or Dan.
Moses.
Dan.
Well, we know
Moses?
that it was a white actor.
No, it was not Moses. Dan.
Moses, Jesus, Jesus.
I have one more. I don't even know if it's worth it, but I have one more.
Go for it, Dana.
Jane Mansfield.
Jane Mansfield? No, that is also incorrect. I'm going to close the polling on this. The answer is Katharine Hepburn.
Damn it!
Oh, damn it! She was a fierce motherfucker too.
Yes.
Okay, let us go to the Amish person. To the Amish person, this is a game show. You're here to answer a question: chemistry, baseball, rock and roll, presidential history, or the internet. Which would you like? I'm guessing the internet's off the table for you.
Which one is closest to making butter?
None of them.
Chemistry.
Chemistry. Okay, I'm going to go for an easy question for obvious reasons. The very first element on the periodic table is what? What is the very first element on the periodic table of the elements? The very first one.
Butter.
No, it's not butter, Dan. Anyone else care to hazard a guess? Yes, Dana.
Helium.
Helium, close, but no, that is incorrect.
Damn.
Victoria or 3 Babies, would either of you care to guess what is the first element on the periodic table?
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen is correct.
Damn it! That's what I was gonna say when you said no to helium. I was like, "Fuck, it's hydrogen."
Okay.
That was my second guess.
We're going to go to the speed round here.
Okay.
We're not going to go one by one. I'm just going to throw them out there, and the first hand I see gets to answer the question. Okay. There are 3 tiny parts of an atom: the proton, the neutron, and the
electron.
what?
Electron.
Very good. That is correct.
Antimatter.
No, that's not correct. Sorry, Dan. Antimatter is not the correct answer. Let's go to let's try a baseball one here, since you're all clearly into sports. If a catcher can not hold on to a pitch that, in the official scorer's judgment, he should have, and as a result, at least one runner moves up on the bases, the catcher is charged with this. What is
Murder.
What?
Murder.
Murder. No, he's not charged with murder.
Sodomy.
No, he's not charged with sodomy.
Is a strike? No, a catcher. No, not the picture frog.
If the catcher cannot hold on to a pitch that he should have, and a runner moves up on the bases, he's charged with what?
A foul.
Loose balls.
No, I'm going to give half a point to Victoria. The correct answer is a passed ball. But loose balls is another problem that baseball players have. Usually after the game.
Loose ball.
And it's so funny. I just kept saying loose ball is basketball. That's it. So yeah.
Jeremiah had loose balls. We made special underwear for him.
Okay, this is an internet question. This is the easy one. When someone is tricked into watching a video on YouTube that is interrupted by a Rick Astley video, what is this called? when someone is tricked into watching a video on YouTube that is interrupted by a Rick Astley video.
That's a motherfucking Rickroll, y'all. I mean, Rickroll.
Well, Dan, defying his Amish roots, knows something about the internet. Yes, that is correct. That is called a Rickroll. Okay. This one, I'm not sure anyone's going to get, but I am willing to give a point for the most entertaining answer, so I'm going to go to all four of you one by one. In the internet, what is a subnet mask? What is a subnet mask? Who would like to go first on that? What is a subnet mask? Yes, Victoria.
It's what the cafeteria lady wears just to make sure none of her little curly baby hairs gets into your meatloaf or your slurry drill.
That's not correct. It's a necessary part of the cafeteria, but that is not correct. Would anyone else like to try to guess? Who'd like to try to guess? What is a subnet mask? Let's see. Dan, you look like you have an idea. Yes, Dan, what is a subnet mask?
It's a mask you put on so you can go in the river under the net and don't scare fish.
I'm sorry, that is also incorrect. Would Dana or the three babies? Dana, you're a small town teacher. You might know this. What is a subnet mask?
It is the cousin of the firewall.
Close enough.
That sounds like Google.
Three babies? Do you want to try something better than that? Or
dirty diapers? Dirty diapers?
No. I'm giving a half point to Dana for that one. A subnet mask is a 32-bit number created by setting all host bits to zeros and setting all network bits to ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fantabulous.
I did. Okay. Are we out of time?
Yes.
I think so.
We're out of time. I'm declaring the audience the winner.
Yes, clearly.
Was
yes.
this powered by electricity this whole time?
Thank you all for participating in the first ever Therapy of the Absurd game show.
Nice. That was fun.
Yes,
I feel like a winner. I got a point and a half.
Yay. Bravo.
Did anybody actually keep score? Dana got a point and a half.
I got 1 point.
You got one?
I know I got at least one.
Yeah, Victoria got one for hydrogen. And Dan got one for Rick, whatever.
Rick Rolla.
And then Stefan, you get one. What did you get your one for?
I got the if the actor won an Academy Award, I believe.
No.
Yeah. He named some writer or actor.
Stephen Wright. See, which I didn't know. Yes, you got one. You're right. I was thinking about the Katharine Hepburn, but yes, you got Stephen Wright.
I didn't know that one. I thought Elizabeth Taylor, because she's done so many dang movies.
She is everything.
Right.
Somehow three babies knew who won that, huh? That's weird.
That's pretty incredible. I'm honored to have been a part of this.
We're honored to have you.
Yeah.
You added so much.
I felt like I went on about that one story and then we went straight to the game show. So if there's like an after party and you want to know more, I can hang out. I don't know what the protocol is at this point.
You guys.
Just for the record, you were brilliant, Joe. Excited that you were on, and I've been moving around a lot, and so I was just kind of happy to be back in our show and on for the ride. But just your wisdom about wanting to say something and your comment, that was very, very powerful. What you shared, be right before you told the story. The story was very powerful. To me, I thought the story was extremely powerful, and it's going to stay with me. And I feel like, honestly, this, just listening to you, I feel like I'm on the right track. I'm a little bit chronologically, I'm a late bloomer to comedy. I think I've been doing comedy all along, but I didn't realize it. But then if you're a comic, then you have to go to a stage. But I feel like so much of what I get to do is talk about George Washington Carver, and I get to talk about fart jokes. I can do it all because I have something to say about all of it. You
can do George Washington Carver fart jokes.
Anything. Well, not sure about that, but yeah.
I hope that's in your bio, by the way, George Washington Carver and fart jokes, because you'd be the only one that I know of who does that.
Right now, maybe we need to put it in there. I just because people know I like to talk about Harriet Tubman from day one, but I tell people don't pigeonhole me as any type of conscious comic, because I'm gonna miss that we can't fart undetected when we are out into when social distancing is over. you can't fart in public anymore, and I'm gonna miss that. Like,
do you remember our first article?
I'll maintain my social distance with you, Dana. You can be free around me. You could be yourself around me.
Do you remember our first article, Dana, on our first episode?
I don't.
That crazy ass white lady. She refused to wear a mask because she said you could still smell farts through the mask.
Oh my God, that's vague, but oh my God. Well,
she's like, I don't have to wear the mask because if I can still smell your fart, then what good is a mask?
But didn't I tell you all that like my sleep apnea makes bedtime unfair for my wife and me because now I can't smell the farts with my mask on, but she still can. So like taco night, she's the only one who can't sleep. Like
So, are you saying that you're farting when you sleep? Is that what you're saying?
I fart when I'm awake and asleep if it's taco night.
Like,
he's a machine.
Y'all gonna have to take some Beano. It doesn't have to be this way.
I'm surprised he has not killed you by now. Like,
she's like, not happy wife, not happy life. You're killing me, man.
Right.
Hey, she eats the same stuff.
Joe,
I get it too.
She's gonna think he's talking in his sleep.
From you, what is your advice to comedians about relationships and maintaining a love life? Like, what advice do you have?
My advice: you ask a comedian who hasn't been single since the Pleistocene. I would say find somebody who gets you, whether it's another comedian or somebody who is good with alone time. I know just from what I've heard and talked to and modest experience, some people need more together time, and you're not going to get that from a comedian. You're just not, unless the comedian transitions to television and they're on the set from 9 to 6 every day, like a job. You know, like I think Jimmy Kimmel goes home at night. I think his wife, I think that works. You know, that kind of thing. But the rest of comedians, it's financially unstable. The hours are odd. I mean, the married comedians I've met seem to have understandings with their partners. I don't want to put a judgment on it, but that would be my guess, is that you can't just do it with anybody. I know it's wrecked marriages. It's wrecked relationships. So I think the other person has to be really understanding. I mean, for me, it's like I want to do what I want. I don't want to compromise, but I don't think I have to either. That's why I've been single a lot. I just kind of like, I want to do what I want to do, and I want a partner, but I also don't want to not do comedy anymore. There's some nights I got to go out, so I'm not saying it's either or, but it's just got to be patient. You got to have I think it narrows the pool of candidates.
Right. I met a married couple. They were both comedians during Burbank Comedy Festival. I forgot to ask them how long they had been married, but they were a great couple. They both had gotten into the festival. We all ended up on, I think I don't remember if it was our Friday night show or if it was our Best of Fest show. I think it was Best of Fest. Both of them we were all in the same showcase. And it was just very cool. And I'd actually done I'd done the Zoom competition one night with the husband, and then he and I both were on the diversity showcase during the in-person week. That's what I should have asked, because I'll say this, because I guess we're solidly into after party. Like, I see, even though people say like, don't fuck comics, don't date comics. Like, I feel like, but who else is going to put up with this? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, and in my head, I think you have to find if you're open, find the right comic for you. I mean, like, I don't think that you got to be careful about like promoters and booker, like that sort of stuff. But I think if you find, a fellow journeyman or journeywoman, to me, that's the best of all worlds. I also know another couple, like the husband is like a longtime road comic, and she's just getting into comedy the last 3 or 4 years, but they're a very sweet, cute couple. I mean, he's got great, stuff to share with her, and he's, a different stage in his career. The husband and wife that I met seem to kind of be at similar stages in their career, whatever. So I thought that was cute. But yeah, I feel like who better than forging a relationship? I would say, like, and I don't know much about it because I'm new to the journey. I don't know that I would like, without sounding crass, I don't know that I would be on tour on the road somebody and like be fucking that person. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that would be bad business. That doesn't look a good idea. But like, if I meet someone and we mutually agree that we believe something could be here, then yeah. But like, if I'm on tour with somebody, I'm not that doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
Yeah. I get that. I would only be afraid of competitiveness. everybody being able to be excited. Like I would have to have a partner that would be excited for my wins as well as me being excited for theirs.
Yeah,
If I'm booking more occasionally than they are, like there's no problems. Right. Because honestly, like I always say, comedians are broken children, that finally just went crazy and everything's funny. And so when you're dealing with that in a relationship, that leaves room for a whole lot of drama anyway. And then to find somebody that's emotionally mature and willing to like run this race with you, even if they're not winning and vice versa, that would be a dream partner.
No, yeah, it's that was one of the things when I met my wife, before I even got into comedy was, does she like video games? Because I dated a lot of ladies who fucking hate video games. You're playing that shit again? Fuck! So I got very lucky and fortunate. My wife, she loves video games. So it helps if you are with somebody who does obviously have similar or the same interests.
Yeah.
Why try to swim against the tide, right?
Yeah.
Or someone that's, understanding and supportive, and like some of your interests, like, my wife and I both like video games, but she also puts up with me getting hammered and then telling her, listen to this, it's Death's Sound of Perseverance. Like, this is his album before he died, but it's his best shit right here. Like, she puts up with that.
Does she have a sister? Does she have a sister? She sounds amazing.
She does, but like,
don't let that be heard out loud, Lauren. We ain't even entertaining none of that.
No, I think he means Dan's wife. Does Dan's wife have a sister?
Yes, Dan's wife, not.
No, yeah.
She has a half sister also, and her dad thinks possibly a quarter sister, but he's not sure.
Yikes!
Yeah,
man.
His toe was in there.
I'm lost, bro. What are we talking about here?
Anyway.
So do you have any shows coming up, Joe?
Things got awkward. It's like, so any shows coming up? I am.
Hey, Joe, you got any shows, Joe?
I think the best way to do that is go to my Instagram. I finally figured out a link tree. If you want to go on my link tree, you'll see the things there. I'm to have it right here. I'm doing Lulu's and Van Nuys. My buddy Eric Sharp hosts a Shriners Entertainment show where it's half comedy, half magicians. Some amazing magicians in the back room of Lulu's family restaurant. That's Sunday the 12th at 6 o'clock. The kitchen opens at 5, or the back room opens at 5 for dining. I'm doing the Warehouse in Marina Del Rey on Tuesday the 14th. I'm doing Marian Talmo's Oaks Tavern on September 21st. That's a fun show just to watch. I mean, I'm a big thing now is I like doing these shows where nobody's paying attention, because that's how you get better. Not that hard to get up in front of a room full of people and recite 5 minutes that already works. That I know how to do. Put me in a room full of people where like the 8 people drinking are in back because they don't want any part of your comedy, and try to entertain the 3 who are watching. That to me is a challenge. Now it's like, no matter how you do in this room, it's not going to make or break your career. So your ego just got trampled before you walked in the door. So do what you can with this. That to me is fun. That's a challenge. I like doing that. And then I'll get Flappers. I have a commercial agent, and he's putting together an industry night at Flappers. And I believe that is Saturday, the 25th of September. I think that's the day.
Nice.
That'll be on the Flappers website, and I'll put that on the link tree. I don't have the exact date on that yet, but that'll be nice. And we'll need people to show up there and laugh, because apparently casting directors and producers are going to be in the audience, and that could make my career. That's one of the few shows in my life that's actually been important. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do there. That's what I have going on anyway. And my talk show this week, Joe Dungan's talk show. I'm interviewing Heather Brooker tomorrow. She is the entertainment reporter for NBC 4 LA. And I like her journey too, because she talks about how she's done everything and she holds it all together. She's a wife and a mother and has a career in entertainment and has time for comedy, and everything just seems to line up. And I don't mean that dismissively of all the work she's done to get there, but it seems like nobody can juggle all of that.
That's hard.
Somehow did it. She's doing it.
She's figured it out. Wow.
It's amazing.
That's amazing. And good for her.
Right. Is she married? I'm curious.
Yeah.
She's
married?
Happily married and has a child, and works for NBC 4 LA and does red carpet events. And red carpet events are apparently horrible.
I could imagine.
Mandatory too.
As a reporter, I've done some. So it's,
she tells stories about how awful it is from the reporter's side, from the interview side. Yeah, it's torture. It's awful.
They never look happy. They never look happy. They always look strained.
Yeah, if you work for one of the big shows like Entertainment Tonight or Extra or whatever, you get access. But if you're you're working for Schmucky McGee's website, they put you down at the other end where nobody wants to talk to you.
And you've got to call out to people, and you've got to get them to stop, and because if you can get some time with them as soon as the bigger outlet opens up, you might get lucky that whoever at Entertainment Tonight or Access is talking to someone, so you can grab the person. But as soon as the space opens up, they're like, okay, so they can get to the bigger outlet and all that.
Yeah, it's apparently an ugly side to that business. So I'm glad another bullet dodged there.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's really exciting, and I know that's what you love the most right now is the hosting and the interviewing. So that's going to be amazing. Y'all, please check it out.
Right. Thank you very much. Joe Dungan's talk show on the YouTube, and there's 23 episodes from previous shows on there. So if anybody wants to look at some of the oldest, I interviewed a mime, I interviewed a voice actor, I interviewed a psychologist who works with comedians.
Oh wow!
Now, yeah,
was the mime a phone interview?
Yeah, she's great. But yeah, I've interviewed a number of interesting people in that, and I'm glad people are generally willing to talk to you, which I appreciate.
Wait, even the mime?
Yes. Yeah. Believe it or not, Amish guys.
Yes.
They're not.
Yeah. You know what's funny? That was totally random with the spinning wheel, and I have a beard. I like that.
Yeah.
But I can't put up a barn. I'm not one of those manly men. They're like, oh, you gonna help us lift this? I go, no.
Does anybody else have any shows they want to throw out real quick?
Yes. We are trying out our Volume 1 Clubhouse versus Zoom, the Battle Royale. I have some comics that I met on Clubhouse that are great, and comics that I met on Zoom, and I don't know what it's going to really be, but we're at the Chateau tomorrow at 7. If you want to support us, I'll just do it both ways. If you want to support us, the discount code is Club Zoom. If you're having a moment, just put in Zoom and it's free. We'll give you the choice of whether you want to support us, because either way you're supporting us. We need people in the room. So if you're not having a whatever the tickets cost, I don't know, if you're not having that moment, Zoom, just put in Zoom and the ticket will be complimentary. If you're saying spiritually, I want to sow a seed into the lives of these comedians, then Club Zoom would get you $5 off of whatever the ticket price is. So, and there's more, but that's the one that's face front right now. If anybody on here lives in North Carolina, I'm in Greensboro next week for the festival.
Oh, yes. Go Dana.
Yes. So
go Dana. And
yes, ma'am.
Y'all check out the show. Comedy Chateau. Food is delicious. Dana knows how to produce a fun and exciting experience, not just a show. So get your booties out. I have nothing planned. I am staying in the house until COVID calms down a little bit. I'm fully vaccinated, but I've had too many Delta scares around me. So I'm just going to chill out. We're 80% vaxxed in Cali now. So I'm just going to wait for those numbers to go down a little bit more.
Dan?
Well, I don't have any live comedy shows, but I could say to Joe that I did some, most of my shows have been Zoom comedy shows because I started in the pandemic. And then the first time I got to do a live comedy show, I finally got to see what people said, live is better. People laugh a lot more when they're next to each other. It's a weird phenomena. Like when people are in groups are like, I actually want to have fun now. So it's a real big ego boost when you get to go up on stage. So I will be looking for more shows, and I plan to do more at the Comedy Chateau. I'm going to do more of the New Faces shows just because they let people do them, and if you want to try, you go try out there. And just remember, I did put out an album during the pandemic, and you could go download it for free still and buy a shirt at heklametal.com. HEKLAMETAL.com. Go watch. Yeah, I mean, if you like death metal, you can listen to that stuff. If you don't like death metal, you're probably an average person that has better taste. But I like death metal.
And beer. Yes.
And beer.
Oh, and nature documentaries and revenge films.
All I hear is if you like
The Holy
pina
Trinity.
coladas, if you like pina coladas and getting caught, that's what it sounds like.
All right. Go on right
Let's
now.
see. I don't have any shows coming up as of yet. I did, however, move my comedy workshop at Flappers to late October because I also want to see where this Delta and this newly announced third variant, for those who haven't heard about it, I would definitely look it up, of COVID. And I already have pre-existing conditions, so I'm doing my best to be as careful as possible because my wife's school just got over 100 people who tested positive for COVID. And guess what? Business is good and booming, and they still don't want to close.
Damn. Children?
Oh, yeah.
And they don't want to close?
Nope.
Ugh.
Nope. And, let's just let's teach our kids to have common sense, folks. Let's, let's all get vaccinated. How about that?
Yes. We get in there. 80% at least had one shot. I don't know about this new variant, but shit, I'm going to be in the house eating yams and collard greens, so.
The mask may not protect you from getting COVID, but it keeps you from spreading it, right?
Yeah. Right.
Put on your mask.
Please and thank you.
Yes. All right. So thank you so much, everybody. And thank you again, Joe Dungan, for joining us. We really greatly appreciate it. Everybody have a great week. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys soon.
Deuces.